have in goal Mandisa Clark, number 1, and captain this evening. Again, number 7, Shanice Stevenson. Number 2, Zane Newsom. Number 6, Daphne Watson James. Number 8, Gabriella Birmingham. Number 9, Ashanti Thompson. Number 10, Rihanna Cyrus. Number 12, Karen Sutherland. Number 14, Keneal Johnson. Number 15, Takoa Hope Downs. And number 19, the impressive Acacia Small. A unit from Barbados that we've grown accustomed to in terms of a starting lineup.
Well, definitely, and the referee tonight will be Danroy Barker, and he will be assisted by Kenran Daniel, as well as Brown, Toshiba Brown, Toshika Brown, and that's the officials for today, and
a quartet of Vincentians for the officials this evening for this final matchup. So, the Pitons against Harrison's Caves.
Well, certainly. And I think you have had a taste of both.
Definitely. The Caribbean I love. I travel quite a lot. You've had the Piton Bear and Banks Bear. I know you've been to Barbados quite often.
Well, I've had both during the days when I drank beers. But having visited St. Lucia for quite some time and a number of occasions, actually lived in Barbados for 3 years while studying, so I'm familiar with the territories.
Well, good friends and family, we're welcoming you to our coverage this evening in St. Lucia. We have a lot of family friends and friends in Barbados. Well, my better half of my family live in Barbados, really. So I believe half of them may be following the football matches this evening. St. Lucia, extremely good friends and very supportive in terms of Caribbean people. And the Windward Islands here. So really good opportunity for them to follow the Windward Islands women's football finals here at the Arnoldville playing field.
Well, I do have friends in both places. If you start calling names, it would be a little bit of a trouble. But I cannot help but go in St. Lucia for my own namesake, Cecil Charles in St. Lucia. Yes. Also my very good friend Trevor Wells. And in Barbados, it's a plethora of names, really. And not going to take too much time with it. But we can see Acacia Small, the number 19 for Barbados, just jogging on the spot before they kick off. And there they go. So it's Barbados with a kickoff, defending the goal to the north, and St. Lucia will take it here at the southern end. So it's number 11 for St. Lucia, looking to get around that. That's Joseph. And still with it, the cross comes in, and it goes out of play. It's going to be a goal kick. So, and it's still Barbados now inside. That looks like Birmingham, who looks to get that cleared. Finds a number 2, and Newsom. That's Barbados still with it. St. Lucia there looking to come forward. St. Lucia still in the tussles inside the Barbados half. Finds number 7 in France Fanou. And back to number 11. And a shot sliding across the face of the goal. Early days yet, and that has a bit of pace. It goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for... It's going to be a throw-in for goal kick for Barbados. In fact, Barbados now look to come downfield. Goes wide. Still looking to work their way down. Comes into the center. Finds a number 7 player with Stevenson, the captain. Comes back to the middle to the Dongs. Downs with a long ball, but the defense for St. Lucia remains firm. And again, we see Raquel John, that familiar figure, the number 6, and Roxelle would have a lot to say about Raquel John.
Yes, yeah, she's been pretty impressive, very impressive to say the least in the tournament in a central defensive position.
Fanu has been robbed of it as it comes across field. It's still cut out there by Raquel John, the ever-present Raquel John. Barbados still with it. Still, as we see St. Lucia is in number 11. Joseph goes down the flank, cross comes in, and easy take now for Amandisa Clark. And there's still no goals yet. We're still early days yet, just in the 4th minute. She boots it downfield, only to find number 9 for St. Lucia, who is unable to control, but intercepted there by Marquise. Marquise for St. Lucia, but being robbed of it. Barbados looking to counter-attack. This looked like a Casey Small, but Lionel comes off our line very quickly and now rolls it out. Finds Shepard, her captain. Shepard looks up, looking for some support. Again, looking for Joseph. That's now swirling ball as Mandisa Clark comes off our goal line, collects, and she bowls it out. Looks like Newsome on that far side. Barbados still with it. Cut out by St. Lucia Marquis, still with St. Lucia Joseph, but again, good cross, but good work by Clark, covering the angle well. And she clutched that very easily as Barbados now looked for a counter. Number 9. Still Barbados. Goes wide. Knocking it around, looks like Birmingham. Birmingham comes back to the middle. And yes, so Barbados being patient. It goes wider. Still with it. Number 12. And that's Sutherland. She's booted downfield, but Raquel John cuts it out for St. Lucia. Shepard had a run, but she was laboring there after it. And there was Thompson, the number 9 for Barbados, knocking it out of play.
Well, St. Lucia have come out on
I think
top
it came
so far.
off the St. Lucian, and it's a throw-in for Barbados.
Yes, they are really aggressive going forward. We've seen some good challenges, and the crosses have been excellent. Barbados have not yet made a raid down on our end. So St. Lucia so far seem to have the better of the exchanges in the first 5 minutes.
Well, St. Lucia, they have been promising. Birmingham boots it downfield, only to find number 9 for St. Lucia.
Albert.
Yes, Albert. I just had to refresh my memory there. Comes to the number 5 in Samuel, who now gives it back to Albert. Albert with a throw-in. And you can't miss Albert. The footwear is very distinct.
Beautifully orange, or a neon orange.
So Fanous comes back to Shepard. Shepard comes wide, finds Marquis. Marquis chips it around looking for the number 15. They had a little too much on it. And he was looking for St. Louis. Chrisan and goalkeeper Clark had no difficulty collecting. So Fanous once more for St. Lucia. Nice work. Gives it back to Shepard. Shepard looking for some support. She goes wide. Looks for Joseph. Joseph looks to open up the defense, but has the number 12 for Barbados. With her, it looks like Sutherland. It being knocked out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for St. Lucia. So we see number 13. I think that familiar number 13 in Alien.
Yes, diminutive figure, but very, very, very active in terms of what she does for this unit.
So she was looking to give it to Joseph. Joseph couldn't control it. Goes out of play. It's going to be a goal kick for Barbados. So Clark with it. Takes her time. Not being rushed. And she goes back. Plays it to her defender. Now look to come forward. Goes wide. Still looking to come forward is Barbados, deep in their own half. But St. Lucia, good work there, good interception. Comes across field, looking, I think, for Shepherd. It couldn't rain that one in, and Barbados now on the counter. Finds Acacia Small. Small still with it, but St. Lucia cuts it out. Raquel John cleans up to Albert. Albert boots it downfield, but only to find Barbados. There is Shepherd again, once again. Boots that downfield, and Clark has no difficulty coming off her line and collecting, and gives it to her defender. Boots it out, but only to be intercepted by Alain for St. Lucia. Alain finds Marquis. Marquis looking for Joseph on the far side. Barbados with it as the Drizzler is back with us, but not enough to stop the football. So game on. Winds around that player there. It's small. The cross comes in and headed away there by St. Lucia. Shepherd commanding her position. Now looks to go forward. There's a long ball. And still with St. Lucia. Back to the center looking for Chris and St. Louis. And it's still. But Barbados looking for control. Looking to work their way back. Still looking to come forward. Kicks it long downfield, but it off the head of the Albert, and it's a throw-in for Barbados. We are in the 9th minute of this encounter.
So 4 minutes ago, we were saying that the St. Lucians had the ascendancy, but you can see the growth of Barbados. They're becoming more comfortable. They're stringing some more passes together, and they're getting their wits about themselves as it relates to getting their presence felt and showing their worth here in this final.
So, the final of this encounter, Albert. And off there, Albert couldn't control it, kicks it out of play for a throw-in for Barbados. So it's a 0-0 here at the Arnoldville Sporting Complex. And looks like Birmingham, is it? Well, we have some difficulty with the rain and the glass in front of us. And really posing a very difficult proposition for us here. Barbados with it. It's Downs. Downs look to go wide, but cut out there by Alain for St. Lucia. And that one goes back in defense. So it's still Barbados. Barbados now look to come forward. Nice ball. As still, and good defensive work by Alain once again for St. Lucia, not allowing that player, it looks like Sutherland, to come forward. That's really a challenging seeing through this prospect.
Well, it's just to give an explanation that the raindrops are actually obscuring the view as it falls on the screen in front of us, so the numbers and the players are blurry, Charlo,
very blurry,
at this point.
And they're really giving you a run for the money, so to speak. St. Lucia with it comes back to Alain. Alain now look to go down the line, looking for some support, comes to the middle, finds Marquis goes wide, finds Albert. That outstanding footwear, gives it to her captain Shepherd. Shepherd looking for some support, but cut out there by Barbados. And it looks like very difficult to pick up the numbers there. Very blurry in terms of our vision. Being impaired by the conditions. And it's still St. Lucia with it across, comes in off the defender. And it goes out of play. No, it's still with play. It's still Birmingham. Really having some difficulty here as they work their way down. That goes out, and it's going to be a throw-in for St. Lucia.
So, Charlo, I must compliment the St. Lucians because we haven't heard Cyrus making runs. We haven't heard Acacia Small on the ball as often. I think the very first minute or so we heard Stevenson on the ball. We haven't heard her yet. So they have done really good work so far in keeping the better players, the playmakers in this Barbadian unit at bay.
So it's still St. Lucia inside the Barbados half. Looks like Joseph on that far side. Looks to get around at the corner post. It goes out of play and it's going to be a goal kick for Barbados. We are in the 13th minute of this encounter and the final of the Windward Islands Women Senior Football Championship. And with the rain now a bit heavier, and it's going to be a lot more difficult for us, but it's Barbados. It looks like Sutherland on that far side, but good work there by Raquel John.
No prisoners being held there at all, Charlo.
Well, she was like an express train going across there and a sliding tackle, and I think that the Barbadian forward had to skip out of the way, making sure that she's not hurt in the process. So it's going to be a throw-in for Barbados. Sutherland, the number 12, to take that. Goes back, cross comes in, but cleared by Albert for St. Lucia. But Barbados looks to come forward, looking for Small. But Lionel, very decisive indeed, comes off her line, clicks, and...
Well, Charles, she could have only been decisive by the excellent shielding and coverage by John. Again, in a very close proximity, the communication was excellent.
Very good indeed. And Raquel John continues to show her worth. She has really been, if you're going to pick a defender for the tournament, my pick would be Raquel John.
Well, she must be in the runnings for that. There may be some others that we have to look at, but up there, definitely in the top 3, she must be included.
Well, I'm making her my top. Yeah, but she has really been outstanding. So, it will be knocked out of play. It's going to be what? A corner for Barbados.
It looks like a throw-in because the assistant is not at the flag, so yes, it's a throw-in.
It's a throw-in because it was close to the corner flag and there was no signal from the assistant. Barbados still with it. That's number 10. And that's Rihanna Cyrus. Cross comes in, knocked away there by Albert. Still Cyrus. Goes wide, finds Dungs. Back to Cyrus. Cyrus looks for a small, tame shot to Lionel, who collects. And it's still 0-0.
All right, so 0-0, 15 minutes are gone, and Barbados are trying to mount an attack at Cyrus on the left-hand side, just cutting into the middle. Now Cyrus taking a shot. Well, it would have been a shot inadvertently, but I think her attempt was to pass to the on-running Downs.
Well, I think Cyrus, again, we have to commend Raquel John, who actually stood in her way and really restricted her movement.
And that as she should. But it's growing in confidence now. The 3 players we spoke of, again, I don't know if this is commentator's blessing in this time, in this case. Because
when we've been blessed with some rain.
Right. We spoke of these 3 not being involved, and we're now hearing their names as they get on the ball some more. It's Albert Doe on the left-hand side for St. Lucia. She attempts to get around Downs, and she is losing out here as the final call is that it came off of her, that's Albert, and so throwing for Barbados down the right, just about halfway onto the half of St. Lucia. Let's see, it looks like Newsom who has possession. Subject to correction again, just a touch of difficulty in clearing our vision here, but it's Samuel leaving it now for Raquel John. She finds Manu, for Nu, that is St. Lucia, giving it away though, into the part of Downs. Downs finds Captain Stevenson. Stevenson to Cyrus. Cyrus trying to push it forward to the number 9, stolen, and it's now with Marquez. Marquez finds Fanu. Fanu slipping a touch on the grass area here, and it falls for Stevenson. Stevenson to Thompson, is it? And it goes forward. Barbados. Difficulty with their footing a touch here. You can see some slipping, and they would probably need to assess whether they have the right footwear on for the conditions and the type of surface, Charles.
Well, you definitely need to have that, because you can get yourself injured if you do not have the proper footwear on this type of surface.
Barbados mounting attack now down the right-hand side. This throw comes in, looking for Downs, but cleared by Albert, only as far as Fanu. Fanu boots upfield, looking, but it falls for Thompson. Thompson goes inside and finds Birmingham. Birmingham to Captain Stevenson. Stevenson stretching the defense of Barbados down the left-hand side, looking for Sutherland. And Sutherland is gonna run that into touch. Well, it's...
Certainly, Alain, I think she's questioning the decision.
And it must be questioned, because the assistant pointed for a goal kick, but overruled by the man in the middle. And
but
so
he was right next to both players, and perhaps he was saying that the ball came off of Alain.
Right.
I think so. She was actually questioning that decision.
So Stevenson now, as Barbados get into a good position, headed away just momentarily, and it took Captain Shepherd a strong boot to push it upfield. Falls now for the number 9 for Barbados. Goes back to Stevenson. Stevenson goes inside. Good ball. This is Sutherland finding Cyrus. Excellent exchange. This is Barbados again, looking really good, coming down on the left-hand side and crosses inside to Small. Small cannot control, and John is the one who's clearing the danger. It came off of Small eventually, and a goal kick for St. Lucia.
And again, the ever-present Raquel John right there for St. Lucia, not allowing the Barbadians any freedom whatsoever.
Well, freedom not required, and if it's allowed and you have too much time and space, then you're going to be in danger backing away from these attempts as they go forward. Someone is down here for St. Lucia. Could be Alain from our vantage point. Yes, it is Alain.
She's now being pulled to her feet. She will go to the sideline.
So she's back up and having some attention from the doctor on call. So into the 20th minute, nothing to show in the old onion bag, and remember these two teams battled out a very, very aggressive first round encounter that ended 2-1 in favor of St. Lucia. This is Samuel trying to find Albert, just a touch too much on it, and again with the slippery surface and the fast nature of this grass, they're going to have to adapt quickly to those conditions, Charlie.
Well, most definitely, but Albert there couldn't rein that one in and gave away a throw-in to Barbados.
Well, an infringement against captain, that is Shepherd on her opposite captain in Stevenson. So Stevenson would have a free kick in a promising position, and she is actually leaving it. I believe this is going to be left for Thompson or Johnson. Is it 14? We not very clear. It looks like 14. So yes, Johnson. Johnson. She has been prolific in terms of taking these free kicks in previous encounters for Barbados, and she lines up behind it. Just two players though for Barbados in the box, and it comes off of John, who could not control, and because again of the slippery surface, it probably got onto her too quickly, and it bubbled out for a corner.
Yes, it's going to be a corner for Barbados, and we see a number of blue shirts coming back into the penalty area. I think just about 2 or so players, in fact just about one player who was not in that penalty area.
Well, the Barbadians are lining up on the edge of the 18-yard box, and now they're crashing the area. Good corner, Casey Small, getting the head to it, but it slid off of the forehead possibly, and into touch, a goal kick for Barbados, for St. Lucia.
So, Lionel just leaving it for Raquel John.
So growing definitely at the Barbadians. So the last 6 or so minutes, they've been pressuring the St. Lucians. The St. Lucians have not been as dominant as they were in the first earlier stages. Elaine gets it from Raquel John. Elaine goes inside, finds her captain Shepard. Shepard pumps up to the right, looking for, this is Joseph. And into touch, well no, because she's found in the offside position, and so another free kick coming the way of Barbados. So Joseph has been very much in the fray for St. Lucia. The attacks have been up this right-hand side mostly for St. Lucia, and possibly something they have worked on their day off. They do have in the closet ready to come out Polius, Chloe Williams, who have been excellent. And then on the other hand, we have seen the likes of Aline and Holford for Barbados reinforcing their positions and their strengths as they go forward. This one goes into touch and throw in for Barbados. Sutherland, it looks like, behind it. She's going into the area and head away. By Elaine, again, still on the left-hand side of attack for Barbados, halfway into the St. Lucian half, this throw is going to be taken. Sutherland once more. She brings it back to her captain Stevenson, who touches it to Cyrus, trying to get this one to Small. And John pumps into the dugout of the Barbadians. Another throw-in again for the ladies in yellow. Throw comes in, and Stevenson leaves it for Sutherland. Sutherland tries to get around for no. Still Sutherland. She crosses in, comes off of John, who slips in the process, finds Small. Small lays it back into Downs, is it? And on the top of the key, the D that is for Stevenson. She goes wide, finds Newsom on the on the right-hand side. Newsom goes back, and this one into Johnson, but stolen by Marquise. Marquise trying to get St. Louis on her bike, so to speak, but Birmingham is the one that comes around and is controlling for Barbados. Into this looks like the number 2 in Newsom, but stolen. This is Emmanuel going up on the left for St. Lucia. Still Emmanuel, and is it gone into touch? Not very clear. Yes, it is, according to the assistant. And so deep into the Barbadian half, another throw-in for St. Lucia.
St. Lucia. So we have some good counter and counter from both Barbados and St. Lucia, but there's still nothing to show. We're still goalless here in the first half.
Goalless, but not without action. Blue of St. Lucia against the yellow of Barbados, and they are having some serious exchanges as a shot came in. This one looks like from Elaine, not an area she would normally...
Tame shot.
Yes, that we would normally see her in, But this Barbados coming through, it's now with, looks like Thompson, goes across, finds, this is...
Birmingham.
Birmingham, yeah. Oh, Lord. We have Newsom comes inside, finds Cyrus. Cyrus goes across, looking for Hope Downs. She pulls it in on the left-hand side, brings it back to Captain Stevenson. She cuts into the middle, and a good turn, attempted turn by Cyrus, but Marquis cleans it up and finds Alain. Alain looking to go forward, but blocked there. John comes to the rescue of St. Lucia, and Barbados are pushing and pushing hard here. And they're trying to pressure the St. Lucians in the second period of the first half.
Well, it's certainly things are heating up, and both teams are really going at each other hard. And Barbados now really getting their footing and really trying to make for some inroads.
All right, so that one goes into touch. Yes, your view as it relates to the pictures we are bringing you is extremely clear, but that's not our vision from this point, and so we're still struggling just a touch with the clarity through our glasses here. But it's Albert, from what we're seeing, she is attempting to go up the left for St. Lucia, into touch once more. Barbados have now attempted and have been successful in pinning the progress of St. Lucia, so they have not been able to push out as they have done probably in the first 10 minutes or so, and growing in strength and control here at the ladies in yellow. Flying fish and cuckoo probably for dinner tonight. We'll see about that, Charlo. Not sure if we have the ingredients or all of the ingredients to make that as it would be done in Barbados, but here is Cyrus. Excuse me, the top of the D. She finds Sutherland. Sutherland cuts inside on the left-hand side. Oh, good ball into Small, who had a few touches to bring it under control, but she was not able to do what she would have loved, Charlotte.
Well, again, we can see the defense keeping very close to Cyrus, not giving her space. And in the end, a very tame ball that Lionel had no difficulty to collect.
Growing in confidence are the Bajans. Here we go. This one is cut out by Small, though, only as far as Thompson. Yes, number 9, and she plays that very, very decisively into touch. Throw-in would come the way of St. Lucia.
Well, St. Lucia, they're not giving up. So they're trying to mount the pressure on Barbados, but in the last few minutes, Barbados had the better of the exchange.
Definitely, without a doubt. As we get close to the 30-minute mark, there is another ball that goes into touch, this time in favor of Barbados. Sutherland is going to take the throw. She looks for she looks to go as far as Small, still Small. It falls back now to Sutherland, who is still on the left-hand side, finds her captain. This is Cyrus to Stevenson. Stevenson goes across the middle, attempted to go past Marquis, wasn't successful. The loose ball falls for her. She goes to Cyrus. Cyrus comes across here on the left, back to Sutherland. Sutherland deep in the middle, deep in the half of St. Lucia, and she cannot get past John once again. Sutherland playing a much more attacking role today.
Yes,
She's been working the flanks down the left-hand side.
Certainly.
All right, so we'll probably have to give it right back to you, Charlie, with the 30th minute. But it's Sutherland. She is going to have the throw-in deep in the St. Lucian half on the left-hand side, very close to the corner flag to Cyrus. Cyrus still possessing, still Cyrus of Barbados, cuts inside, the passes inside, momentarily cleared, and referee Barker says an infringement against Small, and so St. Lucia would breathe a sigh of relief as they evade another attack, and it's quailed by an infringement.
So, Raquel John for St. Lucia. Free kick comes to her left, finds Samuel. Samuel goes wider, finds Albert. Albert has a defender to contend with, looks to give it to her captain in Shepherd. Shepherd loses it. Barbados now look on the counter, and This is a good ball. This could spell some danger, but again, good work by Lionel, getting in there and really. Yeah, I think she took a knock in the process, and she goes down looking for some support. There's going to be a corner for Barbados as the physio comes out, and the doctor to her, because she's down, perhaps getting a good tongue on that right leg. So too, we see another St. Lucian who is lying on the ground, perhaps just catching her breath or taking a breather in the process. So Lionel is there. There's going to be a substitution. Real difficulties, number 11. And that would be Joseph. It was Joseph who is going off. So St. Lucia has made a substitution. And you see the Barbarian, the players taking the opportunity to just hydrate themselves. So, would that be? Well, they're now looking for the stretcher, so perhaps this one is much more serious than we thought.
Ladies and gentlemen, the substitution for St. Lucia in the 33rd minute.
This will be a massive blow for St. Lucia, because she has been outstanding throughout the tournament.
Magash Savory, and leaving the game is number 11, Freakian Joseph.
Let's see. She's still there, trying perhaps to untie her boot laces.
Charlo, this is definitely gonna work on the mental strength of the St. Lucian team, because Lionel, in this case, Kiana, has been excellent, and she just at the moment of the injury stopped a very good attack from Barbados that was promising, and they would hope that the attention here would be quick and swift. And let's see, is there going to be a substitution as it relates to the goalkeeping position? Yes, there's a lady now coming into the fray here for St. Lucia. Let's see what she offers and how this affects the movement and confidence of the St. Lucians.
Well, that's something that we have to take some time to see, and we just wait for the individual to see who it will be. Perhaps pick just by the number on the back of her. So, yes, it's Francis. Renella, Francis. So she's now going to take up some duties. They're signaling. So perhaps this is a bit more serious than we thought. I'm not too sure whether it is what they are signaling for. Corner kick comes in. Play resumes over the crossbar, and it's going to be a goal kick for St. Lucia. So Francis would get her first touch. She's signaling to the players to go forward. Gives it to Raquel John. John walks her way down the flank. Gives it to Alain. Alain back to John, who boots it long field. Barbados inside their own half, looking to clear. And it's still with Barbados as they counter. And Barbados really knocking it around, stringing the passes together. Still Barbados. And still Barbados. Barbados, Raquel John is there. Not giving them the room. Albert now there. Infringement called against Barbados. So it's going to be a free kick for St. Lucia. Albert in the process going down. Perhaps just nipped on the instep. And it's going to be a free kick. Raquel John is there, ever present, as the other St. Lucians really make their way forward. This should be a long ball down forward, looking for one of our colleagues to run onto. She goes wide, finds Alain on that far side. Nice ball. Alain comes back to the center, but not controlled well. Still with St. Lucia. St. Lucia with it. And Barbados now intercepts. They now look for a counter-attack. Barbados on the run. Barbados still with it, toying with it in the middle. And they're just knocking it around, stringing the passes together. And Barbados now looking to come forward. Again, nice ball. But Raquel John is there to defend for St. Lucia. And still St. Lucia with it. Alain gives it to Fanous. Fanous chips it downfield. The race is off. Clark comes off her line. She collects. And there is no damage done. So she rolls it out for her defender. Looks like from our vantage point, really still struggling to get good view from where we are after the rain. And it's Barbados still with it. Still Barbados. Barbados still looks to come forward. Now comes across field looking for Rihanna Cyrus. Didn't control well. Alain does so, but it goes out of. No, it's been kept into play by St. Lucia. St. Lucia still with it. Cross comes in off the Barbadian defender. And it goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for St. Lucia. Deep inside Barbados' half. And St. Lucia soaked up quite a bit of pressure at one time. And now they are now looking to put the pressure back onto Barbados. Keys has the defender, both areas go down, and it still is going to be a free kick for St. Lucia. Referee Barker just ensuring that ball is in its right position, and he's now indicating where that ball should be. I think it's a one-man wall we are seeing. As we see St. Lucia, a number of blue coming back into that penalty area, about 5 blue tops. Marquis chips it across and sliding across the face of the goal. And Barbados would now look to, that went across and out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in for Barbados.
So question, Charlo, the change in venue and surfaces, I know we want to have a different spectacle, a different opportunity. How does that play into the minds and in this case, the performances that we're seeing here of these teams?
One would think that they would be very much happier playing on this kind of surface, but I think with the weather, the bit of rain, that the surface at the time of grass as well is different to what they have been accustomed to for the past 3 days. And so I think they are finding a little challenge in terms of controlling, because the ball is sliding off the surface much quicker, and they are unable to control as well as they would want. But it's Barbados inside their own half, comes wide, finds Sutherland. Sutherland bringing the defense with her, has Alain to contend with. Alain is sticking with her as if it's a tattoo, and in the end it goes out. It's going to be a corner for Barbados.
Free kickers looks like.
Well, who's that free kick awarded to?
Barbados.
It's awarded to Barbados, and we can see Captain Stevenson taking her own time. Well, yes, it's a free kick. And referee Barker just indicating where that ball should be spotted. And now he's going to indicate to that three-woman wall where they should be placed. So it's now down to 2. See, Captain Shepherd is there, so too is Marquis. And there are quite a few players inside that. You see Alain, Raquel John, It looks like Samuel as the cross comes in, heads go up, sliding off the head there of the number 19. It's in small and out of play, and it's going to be a goal kick.
Charlotte, that's basically a free header. That was an excellent free kick taken. Small had a free header. She did not make enough contact. She was alone in the far post. And anything on that, I did not see Francis making a stop.
Well, it was not to be. This one bubbles out of play. It's going to be a goal kick for St. Lucia. Francis, the substitute goalkeeper, takes her time, and she boots it downfield, but cut out by Barbados. Finds Cyrus, Rihanna Cyrus with a shot, and Francis collects easily. Not with it, and that shot had no venom in it, and it was good work by Francis. Still, Barbados intercept, downs. Gives it to Stevenson. Stevenson looking to find Small, who's caught in an offside position. And up went the flag very, very early indeed. And it's going to be a free kick for St. Lucia.
Yes, Charlo, and here we go. We've seen the St. Lucians having difficulty with stringing some passes together. They don't look as constructive as we've seen them so far over the tournament. The first 5-10 minutes, they were really on top, but the Barbadians have now gotten their mojo together, so to speak, and they are actually throwing all of these items or opportunities and chances and even plays which attempted to be developed by St. Lucia.
Well, our vision here has improved, and it's knocked out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Barbados. Sutherland is on that far side, sporting number 12. On the back of her shirt. So it's through, looks for Cyrus. Cyrus now gives it to Small, who's been the player they've been bundled off by Captain Shepherd. And it's going to be a free kick for Barbados.
I think there's been a further substitution, Charlo. We'll get that one.
Well, headed away there by Raquel John at the corner post, and Sutherland with it. Alain robs of it, but intercepted there by Stevenson for Barbados again. We can see. Once Barbados has scored, Cyrus has scored. There she is, and look at her. Really. Francis was beaten. He was to her right. She was stretching. It slid across the face of the goal into the far corner. Barbados takes the lead in the 45th minute of the first half. It's Barbados 1, St. Lucia 0.
Charlotte, this was on the cards. It was coming. The Barbadians took control just about the 20th, 25th minutes or so, and they've really been pressuring. But we must compliment Cyrus for her precise and skillful conversion there, because the angle was pretty acute, but she did really well to beat Francis at the far post. Barbados 1, St. Lucia 0. And we do have a final on here now.
So it's heating up as it's still, I think there are 4 minutes of added time still with Barbados. They would now look to work their way downfield, but the defender there not allowing them to come forward, being knocked out of play, and it's going to be a goal kick for St. Lucia. In fact, for Barbados, it came off the defender for St. Lucia. And Clark goes to find her defender, comes downfield now. Finds number 9 in Thompson. And there's Birmingham picking up a yellow card. And one would want to think it was more for something that was said, Roxanne.
Yeah.
So, a free kick awarded to St. Lucia. And very soon, I think that Barker would indicate where that wall should be as the players are trying to come as close as possible to where that free kick would be taken. Now they have to march forward to where Barker indicates. He has some long strides.
Yes. I do agree.
And so, let's see, is it Marquis? Corner comes in, and a lot too high. And wide and over, cut back in there by Alain. Alain with a cross, intercepted by Barbados. Cross comes in once again, and they're just booting it around. Shepherd with a run. And let's see, she reins it in, chips it back in, but cut out there by Birmingham for Barbados. Faz Newsome with it as well. Two St. Lucians are there in Albert and Shepherd. It goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Barbados. It's Barbados 1, St. Lucia 0. In this, the first half of the final of the Windward Islands Women Senior Tournament and 2025, and Barbados look to come away. But St. Lucia comes back to number 18, big frame of Savory, it looks like. And
the number 8 went out, Emmanuel. Number 8 went out.
Number 8.
Yes,
Emmanuel went out and Savory came in. And so it's Fanous. She being brought down. I think Cyrus, the guilty offender. Referee Barker is right there. And so a free kick to St. Lucia. And Raquel John will line that up. Let's see. Boots it long ball downfield. Heads go up. And Barbados Cyrus with it. Cyrus gives it to Stevenson. Stevenson comes back into the middle for Small. Small dances around. Goes wide to Sutherland. Sutherland looking to find Downs. And it goes out as Alain couldn't rein that in, and it's going to be a throw-in for Barbados. It's referee Barker looking at his watch. So Downs, and that's the whistle. So at the end of the first half, it's Barbados 1, St. Lucia 0 Rocket.
Yes, Charlo. Again, Barbados reaping a dividend from controlling the latter period of this first half. I make it from about the 20th minute or so. They almost had the St. Lucians pinned in. They rattled the early start and that the St. Lucians had. I do not feel the St. Lucians they have had their best game. They have been rattled. They have not been able to play their smooth, flowing, constructive football. The Barbados seem to have done their homework. We have not heard of Fanous. We have not heard of Shepherd actually controlling the midfield here. And the Barbadians have reaped the dividends via a 45th minute conversion from Rihanna Cyrus. They are one goal up, and they're looking to turn around the opening encounter. Final decision where St. Lucia won that game 2-1, and Barbados are looking to turn that around on championship night.
And rightly so. So we take our break, and then we'll bring the second half to you right here from the Arnesville Sporting Complex.
green and got some juice and when it starts to see each other drink.
Yes, wonderful. I see you know your geography, your history, and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm trying to get involved and get the folks around to explore St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the natural place to be.
Definitely, without a doubt. If you haven't been here half of your life is gone. You need to spend some time in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Carnival, 9 morning, sports, everything else. And we are definitely about sports here as we go into the second period of the championship game of Wifa Women's Football 2025. And Barbados are ahead, 1-0 against St. Lucia. Barbados in yellow and St. Lucia in the blue. And they have dominated the latter part of the first half, the Barbadians, and they're ahead via a 45th minute conversion, well taken by Rihanna Cyrus.
Well, most definitely, and we could see Chris and St. Louis lining up for that kickoff for St. Lucia. And officials just waiting, the fourth official having a look at his watch.
There we go, St. Louis, who we have not seen much of in this first period, finds her captain Sutherland, who slips as she goes forward and gets a good ball into Albert. Albert is attempting to go past 4 defenders and can't pass Newsome. Newsome gets it out to, that's Downs, and into touch. An early train for St. Lucia deep in the Barbadians half. She gets it into St. Louis, and still St. Louis. She falls to the ground. Referee Barker says, get to your feet very quickly. This one is cleared by the number 6, that is Birmingham. Over to Fanudo, picks it up for St. Lucia. She finds Elaine down the right-hand side. Elaine looking for movement into, that's Marquise. Marquise plays around with it, and she still regains possession, and she is slipping in the process. Not much in that, in my perception, but the referee in the middle, he's in charge. And deep on the right-hand side, very early in this second period, Charlo, a free kick for St. Lucia.
Yes, definitely. And again, Sutherland was there in the process, impeding Marquis, and a free kick awarded.
So Marquise getting a start today for St. Lucia. Gets a good air into the area, but commanded well by Clark. Good movement backwards. She commanded the space in the 6-yard box, as she should. And she came away with it, and actually now getting a free kick. So she plays it very close there to the number 8, Birmingham. Birmingham over to Newsome. Newsome comes inside, finds Thompson. Thompson, the number 9. She's pushing forward into Downs. Back to Thompson. Good movement up the right-hand side. There we go. She looks for Acacia Small. Small gets onto it. She has John to contend with. Cannot pass John. And into touch it goes, Charles.
Well, good work again by Raquel John. And in terms of defenders, my standout, and it's going to be a throw-in for Barbados, as we see Newsome, the number 2, making her way down for that.
One thing you learn about Mr. Charles is very, very adamant in terms of his decisions and his views. But I agree, I concur. I probably only concur because her last name is John, but let's go on.
Well, let's separate the name.
Quality.
I'd go with the quality.
Definitely, I totally agree. Has been tremendous, albeit that her team is down 1-0, and they come forward with Fanu. Fanu is looking, but it's stolen there. It's with Thompson. Thompson comes across, finds Captain Stevenson. Back to Thompson. Thompson decides to come to the middle. She goes wide on the left, looking for Sutherland, but I believe that she should have gone directly to goal, Charlo.
I definitely think that she should have gone to goal, because in the end it was an aimless ball.
Definitely pass at that stage was a bit awry. Comes now to John. John is looking for movement, and she pushes forward, stolen by Barbados. Stevenson picks it up on the left. Here we go. She comes inside to Thompson. Thompson is running in. Well, the referee says play on, and that's a good stop there by St. Lucia, but Barbados still on the attack with Albert finds, she comes across the middle, still Albert, reeling her way across, but falls now for Sutherland for Barbados on the left-hand side. She's done a lot of work today, and she's been pushed off the ball by Albert, and the line flat on the ground. She stretches out. This is Sutherland, takes a deep breath, and she gets ready to go again.
Well, I think she just observed a few seconds there. Just let me just relax and get my composure back to what it should be. And
one of the young ladies, we had some discussions about off air afterwards at the halftime break, and she's really come to the party this evening. And so it's Johnson this time, the number 14 on her back, charged with this free kick. She plays it short to Sutherland. Sutherland back to Johnson here on the left-hand side into Stevenson. Stevenson finds Thompson. Thompson looks for the goal scorer, Cyrus. Cyrus attempted a first-time shot, finds Downs. Downs comes across, looking for Small. Can she get onto it before it goes into touch? She does. John is the defender who pushes her away, but Newsom looks to go inside. Still Newsom and Thompson. Thompson back to Small. This is Downs. Brings it across and into Cyrus. Cyrus taking a second bite of the cherry and right into the arms of Francis. And Barbados still looking, attacking Charlo.
well, certainly they look purposeful in this the start of the second half, and really putting some pressure on St. Lucia, but they have held firm since.
Well, we haven't had the opportunity to call St. Louis quite often tonight. She's not been able to get anything coming forward, toying the attacking play of St. Lucia so far in Barbados. St. Louis now, though, attempts to push it back. It falls now for the number 18 who came in. We'll get her name again, but it's Small, looking to go across to Downs. Downs can't get past John. John plays it into her feet, and a throw-in for St. Lucia.
So number 18 is Savory for St. Lucia.
Yes, some savory Caribbean food comes from these Caribbean islands, Charlo. Barbados, St. Vincent, St. Lucia.
You're into the cuisine?
Very much so, very much so. The spice of life is food. There we go. Birmingham finds Sutherland. Sutherland looking to go forward on the left-hand side, and she attempts to find Cyrus. She picks up the loose ball still, though. She cuts inside neatly. Still Sutherland. Oh, Sutherland. Can Downs get onto it? She does. She lays it back to Small. Small finds Cyrus as a Barbados deep in the St. Lucia half, just about the mid-pitch area. Finds Stevenson. Stevenson looking and chips it back to Thompson. Good ball movement by Barbados. Still Thompson in the middle of the pitch. She goes forward. This one is not going in the direction she would have intended, and it's going to peter out to be a goal kick for St.
Well,
Lucia.
certainly Barbados continue to camp out in the St. Lucia's half and really maintaining that pressure on St. Lucia, but they have stood firm after that one goal advantage.
But yes, definitely. Charlie didn't get a response about the spice of life. It was like you got stunned
the
there.
food, I was just wondering, I have a very good friend, so I was just wondering if you fall into that category of someone who is on a seafood diet.
We'll have a conversation about that, but seeing the ball and collecting it well here is goalkeeper Clark. She bowls it out for Johnson. Johnson finds Captain Stevenson. Barbados on the attack on the left-hand side. She changes direction, comes mid-pitch, and finds Thompson. Excellent ball across to the right to Newsom. Newsom has space and time, cuts inside, and cut out though by St. Lucia. This is an attack by St. Lucia. Is St. Louis going to get onto it? There's a discussion basically between number 6 for Barbados and Clark.
That's Watson James.
Watson James.
So that's very good defensive work by her,
Yes.
shielding out Chris and St. Louis and allowing Clark to come off her line and
commanding
collect.
Clark virtually to come to collect, because she's like, why are you not coming? Come and collect this, because we are in charge and we are definitely one of Barbados leading. The ladies in yellow over the the ladies in blue in the Wifa 2025 championship game here at the Arnesville Sports Complex, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Throwing taken, and it's now with Newsom. Not a good attempt on the first occasion. Picking it up is Emmanuel over to St. Louis.
Oh.
And that was for New taking a shot. The St. Lucia they have been crowded. They have not been allowed to get anything off of substantial quality. And the Barbados have really done so well so far.
Well, yes, they do. And Clark boots it out to Birmingham, who gets it to Newsom, and they continue to knock it around, and you can see the confidence of Barbados.
Yes, but stolen by Shepherd. Shepherd would like to make something happen here for St. Lucia into St. Louis, but she's been crowded off of it. It's John losing out there and falls for Savory. And now it's with St. Louis. St. Louis pushes it to Captain Shepherd. Shepherd attempting to send Marquis on a run. Cleared momentarily over to Fanous. Fanous to a lane on the right-hand side, looking for St. Louis. Not a good ball at all there, and into touch it goes. Barbados have a throw-in.
So it's Barbados 1, St. Lucia 0.
And the throw-in comes the way of Sutherland. She finds Captain Stevenson. Back to Sutherland on the left-hand side. Goes inside looking for Thompson. Stolen by Marquis. Marquis lays it through, but standing tall is Watson James. Finds Captain Stevenson on the left. She comes in the middle. Finds Hope Downs. Downs to, that is... Johnson. Good ball over to Newsom. Now the attack is on the right. And stolen by Emmanuel. Emmanuel goes inside. Good ball to St. Louis, but she goes back to the middle to a captain who cannot find Marquis as she attempted to go forward. Stevenson, Barbados' captain, plays a nice ball to Cyrus. Cyrus tried to touch it onwards to Small, and that was here it is, St. Louis! Oh! St. Louis, for the first time this evening, had an opening, was ahead of the defender, but Charlo did not. I don't think she chose the right technique to get past.
Definitely not. And I think Clark, again, it was Watson James who had her under pressure, forcing her to go a little wider than she really anticipated. And then Clark came off her line, put that pressure even further, and in the end going wide off the upright.
So this is where confidence, this is where being assertive, being in control of what's happening, and being confident in your own ability, even in those tight situations,
always have
comes
to
into play.
That level of game awareness.
Definitely. And here we go. Shepherd Doe and Watson James is going to clear the danger, but John stole it for St. Lucia. John playing a little bit more. Well, that's not John. That's Samuel. Here we go. It pulls across. That's Barbados on the counter attack. John, this is on this occasion for St. Lucia, intercepts and plays it into touch.
Well, really, I think it was a good counter by St. Lucia, but there was some indecision on the part of Captain Shepherd, right just outside, about 5 yards outside that penalty area, that allowed Barbados to clear that. And had she been more decisive, it could have made a difference.
All right, so inadvertent collision there between looks like Thompson and Albert, correct? Two young ladies with bright orange footwear.
And I think both wearing the number 9.
Yes, you're totally correct. So 1-0 Barbados against St. Lucia here in the championship game of Wifa 2025. Here we are here at the Arnesville Sports Complex in Vincent and Grenadines. Alain picks it up for St. Lucia and decides to put it into touch as her defenders recover. Better safe than sorry on this occasion.
So again, Alain continues to show her worth on that right side, and it was good thinking on her part.
Here we go. It's Sutherland attempting to find Small, is it? No, Stevenson it is. She goes across, cleared by Albert, finds Marquis, is it? And a good ball again. This one is St. Louis! This time, Charlo, she was composed, she was collective, and she decided where she needed to go.
Again, the build-up. It was Albert who pushed it, saw it. St. Louis was out of the blocks very quickly. She got around the defender, saw the advancing Clark off her goal line. She kept her composure, and to the left of Clark, into the back of the net. That's the equalizer that St. Lucia was looking for.
Game on, 60th minute. St. Louis, we said that we won't seeing her, we won't hearing much of her, and for the last 10 minutes or so, the St. Lucians have actually been in control.
Well, perhaps that again we say maybe the blessing of the commentators' blessings. Because we've been calling for certain players, and after that call, you see that improvement.
Yes.
And so here is Albert just missing out, but Barbados look to counter. Thompson goes foul, cut out there by Shepard. Shepard finds the goal scorer in St. Louis, who didn't control well, loses it. Captain Stevenson picks it up, goes down the flank, looking for Downs, but cut out there by St. Lucia. St. Lucia still with it, Albert. And off the Barbadian is going to be a throw-in for St. Lucia. The number 9, Albert, to take that, has number 8 to contend with as well. And number 8 is Emmanuel. Still a cross comes up in, cut out there by Sutherland for Barbados. And infringement called against St. Lucia. It's going to be a free kick for Barbados. So Thompson gives it to Watson James, who will take that free kick. Quickly taken, finds Keneal Johnson to Stevens, to the captain. Captain comes back in the middle to Thompson. And there's Emmanuel infringing Thompson there. So another free kick for Barbados. So it's 1-1 here, and building up into a very good contest.
Yes, for sure, Charlo. And just looking at the crowd, maybe a bit on the disappointing end, but those who are here are thoroughly enjoying themselves.
Well, definitely. There was a free kick taken there by Birmingham, and we see Francis came off our line very easily, collects. This can be dangerous, and it's cleared in the end by Birmingham, booted back up by Emmanuel, and we have Marquis being caught in an offside position because it was a good pass on the part of Albert, but she was really on the move a little too quickly.
Yes, definitely, and you can see what a goal does, what confidence does. You now see the St. Lucians with a better and different body language. Their spirit has been lifted, and this offers well for this last 30 minutes or so of this encounter.
Watson James goes wide, finds Johnson. Johnson boots it downfield, but cut out there by St. Lucia. It's still small. Shepard finds St. Louis. St. Louis looks up, cuts back well. She's controlling well. Good work by her. Good ball, but good anticipation on the part of Clark. Like Marquis, I think, was a little slow, but Clark very decisive in terms of her own movement. Came off her line very, very quickly indeed, and averted the danger. So it's still Barbados. Newsom comes back to Birmingham. Birmingham to Thompson. Back to Birmingham. Now goes back to Newsom to Thompson goes down the flank with some pace, but again she's still there with Barbados, still with it with a shot, but good defensive work by St. Lucia. I think was Savory there, saving the day.
Correct.
And
pretty much.
nice ball here once again for St. Louis, but again good recovery on the part of Watson James, and she gives it now to Sutherland. Sutherland now look to counter attack. Looks to go down. She goes down the left flank. Still pulling the defense with her. She has Fanus, who is not going to let her go progress any further. Knocked it out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Barbados.
Charlotte,
Still Sutherland on that far side.
since the goal, the game has opened up really nicely.
Yes, it has. And again, we see good defensive work on the part of St. Lucia. Yes, the contest is on.
As is deserving and really
For a final.
needing for a final, correct?
Definitely. It is keenly contested. Referee Barker is right in the position. So Tom Sutherland back on her feet. Perhaps listening to Michael Bolton when I'm back on my feet again. So Captain Stevenson, number 7 on her back, will line up that free kick with quite a few players in the penalty area. Cross comes in wide off the upright. And just shadowing it there is Francis. It goes out and for a goal kick for St. Lucia. So it's St. Lucia 1, Barbados 1. Right? Raquel John. I am adding Saint onto it. Well, she's from St. Lucia. As still Barbados. And again, we see decisive work on the part of Raquel John. And he's giving away a corner.
She's been so good that the last 2 errors that she's made is so blatant. Because I think she rushed into the one before that decisive tackle, and not sure if she's she probably the adrenaline flowing, and sometimes that adrenaline carries you overboard on some occasions.
Well, we can say that. So we can see Stevenson making her way to the corner flag for that corner kick. And there's a player down.
Okay, so yes,
Yes, it looks like the number, is it number 12? Number 19. Acacia Small. So she's down with some tape around her right leg. Yes. And so, let's see. Axe taking a knock. So maybe, and referee Barker asking perhaps to go to the sideline. Some massaging being taking place. So Barker is there with a discussion with Thompson, and he's just signaling for Small to go to the sideline, and rightly so. She receives a hand. She's been pulled to her knees. Now she would limp her way to the sideline, taking up about a minute or so of precious time, and the play will continue as Stevenson waits for that corner. Corner comes in and out of touch. Poor, as you rightly said, Raquel, poor, posing no threat whatsoever to the goalkeeper or to the defense.
Yeah, in the situations where we are in, you need to have these free kicks being decisive and asking questions of your opponent, Charlo.
Well, in that case, it was not to be. Fanus has Cyrus, a much bigger frame to contend with, loses out, and it's Barbados trying to knock it around, gives it to Sutherland. Sutherland comes back inside to Stevenson. Stevenson looking for some support, but cut out by St. Lucia Shepherd. Boots it downfield, but cut out by Barbados. Barbados still with it inside the St. Lucia's half, and still knocking it around, comes back to Johnson. Johnson goes to Sutherland, and there was Alain unable to control it and keep it in play, and it goes out of play for a throw-in. Sutherland is quickly there, and again we can see Fanus cutting that one out, and another throw-in for Barbados. So off the head of the Barbadian player into touch, a throw in for St. Lucia inside their own half, gives it to Shepherd, the captain, and being knocked out of touch. Shepherd unable to rein it in, and giving away another free kick for Barbados.
Well, after soaking up some pressure, they're looking to weather the storm, Barbados, and see if they can go back to their positivity that they've had for a good portion of the first period. I think so far St. Lucia has had the best of the second period since the restart. So an opportunity for them to regain some sort of dominance and control over their own game, Charlo. The Barbadians.
Well, certainly. So, short corner taken, good defensive work by St. Lucia. There's some pushing and tugging, and it's against St. Lucia. So it's going to be a free kick that is awarded to Barbados.
Stevenson, the captain behind it.
Well, she has been the one who would have taken just about all of the free kicks. There she is. Chips it in and over the bar. No pressure whatsoever. It's going to be a goal kick for St. Lucia. So the scoreline remains 1-1. So it's even Stevens. So perhaps at the end of regulation time it's still tied at 1-1, we go into some extra time.
Well, I actually you read my mind. I actually sent a message to that effect to get the information as it would be pertaining to if a situation like that may arise.
All right. So you're still awaiting that decision because we have not had the playing conditions, the rules of the game. So it's that being knocked out of play. It's going to be another throw-in for Barbados. And so the ball boys, so replacement ball very quickly being given. And you can see Alain just leaving it, say, oh, you need it, you got to come and get it. And Cyrus has to make her way down. So the throw-in being left for Johnson. Long throw finds the head of a St. Lucian, but Barbados intercepts, still with Barbados. Infringement called. Two players down in a heap. And you can see the medics, they're running for all they're worth, getting out there to provide some assistance. Just about all of the players save, about 3 or 4 not there. So the doctors are out, the physio are out there as well, and the entire medical staff out in the middle.
A serious cause of concern there, Charlo.
It seems to be a serious collision between both players.
Well, the information coming at hand, Charlo, is that if after regulation time, after full time, let's put it that way, the score remains tied, there's a 15 minutes each half of extra time 15 minutes each, and then if that still stays tied, penalties. So you're here all evening, Charlo. You have a lot of work to do.
Well, it appears as if we are going to have a pretty long evening. Very, very long evening indeed. And you can see 2 stretchers are going out in the middle, so perhaps both players will be stretchered off. So, unfortunately, both players will be stretchered off. There's like a serious collision between those two, and the crowded areas, so unable to get the numbers.
Well, it's seriously cause for concern. Again, Charlie, remember, collisions like these, you cannot take them for granted. There's the ladies in this case are working at high pace, and you do not have that time and probably that space in this instance to react and evade the oncoming opponent. And unfortunately, we have two young ladies who have given tremendous service to the countries in this competition being stretchered off.
So both players being stretchered off, and very soon they are going to have a resumption. We are in the 75th minute of this second half. So there's some see that there's going to be some substitution. So it's Barbados where they chips it downfield. Not good work there by the defender in number 18. That's Savory. But good work by Francis, cleaning up the mess. And she boots it downfield, looking for Albert on the far side. Does so. Albert controls well. Well, gets a wrong one, but losing it in the end. And it back to Captain Stevenson as Barbados look to come forward.
Right, so we're into the final 15 minutes of regulation time, and we are still level here, 1 goal apiece. Rihanna Cyrus in the 45th minute to send Barbados ahead, but Christon St. Louis, she equaled things up again in the 59th minute. Remember, in the earlier encounter between these two teams, the very first match day, St. Lucia came away 2-1 winners. And you may be with us for a longer period this evening, because if this stays as it is, we're going to have 30 minutes extra time, 15 minutes each half, and penalties if it stays as it is. But here we Charlo?
Yeah, it's like rubbing salt into the wound there, Roxelle.
Well, when it's nice, you do it twice, or you do it as long as possible. It's with Clark, the goalkeeper for Barbados. She picks it up and goes across to Birmingham. Birmingham looking to get it into Newsom. Newsom is bumped off of it, and so a free kick is coming the way of Barbados. Halfway into their own defensive half, on the right-hand side, it is Birmingham just pulling it back. She's had a good tournament as well, Birmingham, since she came in to the fray here for Barbados. She goes upfield, finds Cyrus. Cyrus turns and looks and gets it into the path of Thompson, deep into the right half of, good cross comes in, but headed away by Savory, only as far as the number 3 that came in for Barbados. We'll get you that name, but she plays it forward, looking for Sutherland, and shielding really, really well is Elaine. For St. Lucia. Rouse. Okay, so Rouse is the replacement coming in for the injured player for Barbados. Here we go. It's coming down with Small, finds Fanu. Fanu for St. Lucia goes inside, just a bit too much on that one, but eventually St. Lucia still possesses with the number 19. We will give you, that is Alexander, Asa Alexander, Captain Stevenson plays it to Cyrus. Cyrus tries to get across Samuel. Good work again by the defense of St. Lucia. This is John looking to go forward. She can't get past Stevenson, but Stevenson also stopped in her tracks by Samuel. She crosses and it goes into touch on the byline. A goal kick coming the way of St. Lucia.
So both teams looking for the ascendancy, but so far the defense held firm and they're not getting that freedom to unleash a very good shot at goal from both ends.
Well, in these matches of this type, one simple opportunity, one through ball that finds the attack in the right position could be a decisive point in these matches. But we are yet to get to that stage, as Rouse finds Sutherland for Barbados. Back to Rouse on the left-hand side, right? Rouse is advancing. She attempts to cross. Elaine Black blocks. John Clares, St. Lucia, happy that they have leveled up and have weathered a storm that have come from Barbados, and they are now not sailing smoothly, but a bit more control in their sails.
Well, definitely. And so, long throw.
Taken and head away by Thompson. We're looking for Johnson. She cannot pull that one in, and so another turnover. This time, St. Lucia is going to get a throw-in, and as they try to advance down the right, it's Elaine looking for St. Louis. St. Louis is dispossessed, and Johnson gets it, looks for Watson James, back to Johnson. Barbados halfway on their right-hand side in their own half, finds Sutherland, and play stopped as there's another infringement, this time on Rouse. And so free kick coming the way of Barbados, just about 5 or so meters away from the halfway line on their right side, in their own half, on their left side, sorry, in their own half. And she pushes forward, looking for Small, headed away. Still Thompson looking to go forward. Now forwards for Albert, St. Lucia, as they try to keep its possession. Cyrus, however, battling away, and it is going to be a throw-in. And from all indications, it is a free kick for Barbados.
So things are petering out, Russell. The game has slowed, and there's yet, I think for the last 10, 15, 20 minutes, there has not been a good decisive shot at goal from both ends.
Yes, and with the introduction of different players, we've had a change in terms of control and strategy in some cases, because Rouse has gone even wider on the left, but this is Barbados, this is Birmingham, hammers it inside, good cross, good free kick, slides all the way across after the heads go up, and Rouse it was who could not control Charlie.
Well, a goal kick for St. Lucia, and they would be quite happy, and to see how they can get out of their blocks pretty quickly.
Fanu takes it and goes across, finds Elaine on the left-hand side. She goes inside, finding Savory, but it is Thompson who's proven herself to be a really good player, and this one is cleared by John. Again, John comes in with the head and looking to go down the left, and the Barbados have to put that one into touch. Elaine picks up the ball to take the throw for St. Lucia. Takes it quickly to Fanu. Fanu lays it back to Elaine, but not enough on it. John comes and clears the danger once more, but Barbados picks up the loose ball with Captain Stevenson as they attempt to go up the left. It's with Thompson to Rouse. Rouse is losing out. Coming down here is St. Lucia, but again, the play is broken up by Watson James. She goes across onto the right, finding Newsome, but it is stolen by St. Lucia. Again, a bad pass, and so coming away with it is the captain for Barbados. That's Stevenson. Not a bad pass. Picked up by Elaine. Elaine finds Savory. Savory goes inside. Another giveaway. Passes are going away here, and headed away by Samuel, finds Marquise, but she's in a tussle, still Marquise, and she's being called for an infringement on small. Barbados have a free kick.
Well, it's at a pretty interesting angle, and Barker would then try to identify where that wall should be, but you can see Birmingham there lining that up. But Francis would have some work to do. What will Birmingham do? That's the big question.
Well, she's had a very good game. She took some very impressive free kicks so far. Let's see how this one pans out. This one, she goes to goal. Keeper cannot control. Is that Rose? Is that Small? Who had an opportunity? The ball bubbled out of the hands of Francis. And the big opportunity goes begging here for Barbados in the dire moments of this regulation period.
Well, certainly it was a good shot on goal. He was swirling, and Francis was unable to hold on, and there was, I think it was Rouse coming in close, went over the bar, and perhaps anxiety got the better of her and cleared the bar, but it was a perfect opportunity to go 2-1 up.
With just a few minutes remaining, Charlo, and we spoke about the power of Birmingham, and that was another very well taken free kick, and wasn't handled initially well by Francis.
So it's another free kick, and it's Birmingham once again.
She pushes forward. This time Small touches it over to the left and cleared there by Savory, and another throw-in comes in for Barbados. Midway into the St. Lucian half, up on the left, here we go with Thomas Johnson, who would have an opportunity to have another throw because it was headed into touch. Yep. Johnson, into Rouse. Rouse is pushed to the ground. Barker has an easy decision in indicating this is a free kick for Barbados, and that was actually Sutherland. And she leaves it for Captain Stevenson. Again, the momentum has changed. The pendulum has swung. Control now, basically by Barbados. They've been attacking. Another good free kick comes in. This time, Francis collects, and she is in control on this occasion. She boots downfield and into the running part of, St. Louis. And out of touch it goes off of the boot of Johnson.
Well, St. Lucia would have a throw-in.
Taken there, and it's Savory. Back to Elaine. Well, this time Savory finds the feet of a Barbadian. However, Barbados on the attack on the right-hand side with Cyrus. Moves forward, looking for Thompson. John, again, covering and converting what could have been a positive attack by Barbados into a throw-in only.
Well, time is running out. We may be going into extra time. But this would have a few minutes of extra time from the regulation time.
Yes.
If the deadlock is not broken, then we will have an extra 30 minutes, 15 minutes, half. And if the failure to score in those 30 minutes will result in a penalty shootout. Well,
that would be exciting for the crowd that's here, for sure, and for our viewers.
Perhaps you're looking at a midnight encounter.
So here we go, throw taken, and it's with Small. She tries to weave her way, but she can't get past John. But still Small on the edge of the 18-yard box, cleared by the St. Lucians. As far as St. Louis finds Marquez, is it? Yes, and falls now for Emmanuel. And the ball is bubbling all over, and comes finally to Newsom. Newsom is looking for Barbados up the right-hand side. She goes inside, looking for Thompson. Not a good ball, stolen by Samuel, and cleared now by Savory as far as the number 14 for Barbados. That's Thompson. That's Johnson. Fanu gets it, pushes it forward, and too far ahead for St. Louis to make any inroads here for St. Lucia. Collected by Clark, and she boots over to the left into the part of Rouse, but stolen by Elaine. Elaine is trying to have movements forward. She's floored, and she's on not all fours. She's on all spread out.
Spread eagled.
Yes, she's questioning the decision of the player against her. Having a few words with referee Barker, who now requires the assistance of the medical staff.
Well, so right away we can see the medics making their way out. They have been kept rather busy tonight, and they have responded well. So we are coming down to the final few minutes, and I think the fourth official is just about to indicate how many minutes of extra time will be added, and we'll wait to see. But there's still, if there's the deadlock not broken, it looks like 4 minutes from here. It's
for additional time for stoppages.
So it was Aline who has really worked hard, and she's there perhaps in some pain, holding her chest, and she's been walking to her sideline. Maybe she's going to the dugout.
Well, let's see how it goes. But as we prepare for this free kick,
I think there's a substitution being given.
Yes. So Elaine may be coming out. Well, she walks back to the side, but let's see what happens. Actually, the number 8. So Emmanuel is out, and Polius comes in, the diminutive figure that we have come to know since day one of this tournament for St. Lucia. And as we do prepare for this free kick, it's John. She takes a free kick into the area, headed away by Captain Stevenson, who picks it up. It is Sutherland, back to Stevenson. Barbados deep in their half on the left-hand side, finds Sutherland again, goes forward into the path of Rouse. Rouse does good work. She turns well, but she's brought down by, I make that the number 19, Savory, or Marcus. Marcus.
17.
Oh,
That's Marcus.
19. So this is Alexander. Alexander, who came in, I believe, for the injured player who went out. So some similarity in the statures. And as we wait for this free kick, we see the officials getting the presentation table ready. The ribbons of the medals are flying, and they're hanging really neatly there. I believe some trophies and other goodies would be available for the outstanding performers in this competition. But Stevenson looking to find the winner before extra time period. Headed away though by John. Still John. Clears well. Averts the danger once again for St. Lucia. We're just about into the 3rd minute of additional time here as we prepare for what may eventually be extra time. Rouse cannot get past Elaine. She comes back and finds Sutherland. This is Barbados with the Captain Stevenson on the left-hand side. She goes into the middle and headed away by St. Lucia. Buck into the part of Stevenson. Once again, John comes and decisively puts this away. Oh my word, how impressive this young lady has been.
She has really worked hard for her team. She can be proud, and the team can also be proud of her.
Regardless of where it goes from here.
Whether you come out victorious or not.
Definitely. So, another throw-in for Barbados, taken by Captain Stevenson into Rouse. Is it Rouse? That was Stevenson into Sutherland. Again, they're deep up on the left here in the St. Lucia half. Can't get past the defenders though. That is Thompson. trying to backheel one into the path of someone, and into touch it goes. A goal kick for St. Lucia. Taken by Francis, she finds John on the right, plays it into the path of Elaine. Elaine is looking for movement, and she turns. She turned into Sutherland and loses possession. And up this one is John, just shielding quite well, really well. And Barbados comes away with it though, with Sutherland. Sutherland into the part of, looks like Rouse. Rouse brings it back, finds Captain Stevenson. Stevenson hammers into the 18-yard box area, comes off a defender, and that's the end of regulation time, Mr. Cecil Charles. Regulation time in Wifa 2025 Women's Championship here in St. Vincent and Grenadines. Championship game. Barbados won. St. Lucia won.
Well, it really works out to be the final. It's a good final, a very keenly contested final. The scoreline has shown that. It is 1-1. They're going to have a short break. Then we are back for 15 minutes of action in the first half.
Right, so we have at least, at a minimum, 30 more minutes of football for you. Until then, the restart. We'll be right back.
So we are back with in extra time. It's Barbados with the first kickoff. It's Newsome on the right, goes down. It's Albert there for St. Lucia, cuts back into the middle. Raquel John controls. Still St. Lucia with it. Puts it downfield. And goalkeeper Clark comes off her line. And it's Johnson for Barbados. Going down, finds Captain Stevenson. And Stevenson comes back to Watson James to Birmingham. Birmingham goes wide to Newsome. Comes back in the middle, finds Rihanna Cyrus. And Polius there for St. Lucia. Again, we see Rouse, and he seems to be wearing the captain's armband because it appears as if there was a substitution and Shepherd has been substituted the standing captain. So John carrying the captain's armband in extra time. And still, this is good work here, Barbados, as Francis comes off a line and collects. And easy work, rolls it out very far, finds Albert wide. Albert will now look to work her way down. Long ball, cut out there by Newsome. And Newsome gives it to Cyrus. And that over. Emmanuel, out of touch it goes. Out of play, and St. Lucia now comes in. Poor work. Thompson picks up that loose ball, goes down the flank, cross comes in, and shot and goal. And again, there's Francis thwarting the danger and into the side netting. It's going to be a goal kick for St. Lucia. But again, we see Barbados looking to press the advantage, but Francis coming up trumps.
Well, definitely they're gonna. They've started on the right footing here, Barbados, taking the attack to St. Lucia, and they're definitely trying to make sure that they try to push as quickly to get this game ended, Charlo.
Well, that's the purpose. Peddled away there by Albert, back to Newsome, comes back to the middle to Stevenson, the captain. Good ball, finds Thompson on the far left, but are now cleared by St. Lucia. St. Lucia comes downfield. It's Newsome along with St. Louis, but it goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for St. Lucia. St. Lucia would now look to advance and to get deep inside Barbados' half, trying to find that decisive goal. It's still Albert to Polius, the number 4. Polius fix it back to Albert. Albert gets a wrong one. Nice shot comes to the but cut out there by Sutherland. Sutherland to Stevenson, back to Newsome. Newsome finds Thompson. Thompson goes down, finds, trying to pick the number. Roxelle, can you? Yes,
that looks like a Savory, is it? No, that's Samuel. That's Samuel.
For Barbados.
For Barbados, still small. Casey is small, yes.
Yes, so good. Being brought down
by Albert.
Yes, so it's going to be a free kick for Barbados. Ready. There's that sense of urgency among the players looking for that decisive goal. And here's Stevenson.
So the Barbados captain is going to get ready for another important free kick here.
She's noted to take the free kicks for Barbados. Cross comes in, heads go up, and Raquel John, and it's St. Lucia still inside their own half, looking to come forward. But Rouse busy.
Oh, good work.
And Raquel John clears that. There's some work here to be done. Watson James tidies up, gives it to Johnson. Johnson looks up, Trying to get it going. Back to Johnson. Comes back in the center. Finds Stevenson. Back to Stevenson. Stevenson looking for some support. Gives it to Newsome. Newsome looking to find Thompson, but Albert cuts it out for St. Lucia. She spins. The two number 9s are in a tussle. And in the end, it goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for St. Lucia.
Well, that tussle has ensued for almost 110 minutes now, Charlie, given extra time and additional time.
So here Polius, diminutive, but very agile, very busy player. And Albert now will to work away wrong. Chips it down, looking for St. Louis. And the offside flag is up. And I was looking around. Derek says she was really ahead of the others.
Yeah, she started to run a little too early, anticipating that would have been the ball that's coming her way. And she has to be a little bit more disciplined in terms of those movements.
So Birmingham, it's back to Birmingham. Birmingham was to Newsome, finds Thompson. Thompson looking to find small on that side. Dances around, cross comes in, and Francis just calmly as ever collects. And it's still 1-1. Barbados 1, St. Lucia 1. We are in the unfortunately, we have not been.
The 7th minute, yes, 7 minutes of this first period.
Of this
correct.
first period.
Yep.
It's still 0-0. It's still 1-1. So,
well, equally 0-0, almost. Yes, just going to be taking away goals from the strikers who have converted tonight.
Not going to rob them of their work. As Francis now boots it downfield, long ball. And there is Rose just shadowing it, allowing it to go out of play. A throw-in for Barbados. Finds Sutherland. Sutherland comes back to Cyrus. And again, I can see the St. Lucia working. It's going to be a St. Lucia's show. Alain was looking for St. Louis. So it's still 1-1, and we are in the 8th minute of this, the first half of extra time.
Well, the ball girls are also feeling the effects.
I think just everyone feeling the effects of a long night.
They were not even.
So Fanous goes
the
back
ball.
in defense, still Fanous, but she's been robbed of it by Sutherland, who goes down the left flank, and again, good work there by St. Lucia. And it's Alain. She been bundled off it. And it comes back to Watson James, the number 6. Comes across to Birmingham. But not good work by Albert, but recovers well. And she looks to get around a defender. Cross comes in, looking for St. Louis. But Clark comes off a line. And he just about overrunning that at one stage, but recovered well.
But again, a good piece of work by Albert to get that cross in at that point in time, Charlo.
So it's still Barbados now on the counter. Rouse goes down the left. Rouse, still Rouse. Gives it to Sutherland. Sutherland still with it to Captain Stevenson. Stevenson comes back to the middle, finds Rihanna Cyrus, finds Stevenson with a shot, and again, good easy work by Francis. The score remains Barbados 1, St. Lucia 1. Francis boots it downfield, finds a number 19 player. That's Savory. No, Alexander. Alexander losing it. We're seeing some tired legs now, Roxelle.
Yes, you would expect this, and that's why I was a little concerned about the extra 30 minutes, because these young ladies have been at it for four competition days.
Thompson still with it. Barbados inside the half. Thompson with a shot, defended there by St. Lucia, and the player taking a knock, and referee Barker is right there quickly.
Yes, for Noose, she's very strong. She's a very tough campaigner. She did take it, but I think she was in control of her being. Her balance was still maintained, and she got up quickly and said, "Let's go." Well, I think the precaution,
Yes, so
must be a precautionary measure because it's a head lash. In all honesty.
So Barker is ensuring that she's well checked before play can resume, right? Good, so she goes to the sideline. Bounce ball here for Barbados. This looks like small. And cross comes in. Finds Cyrus, it looks like. Pushes it back to small, chips it in. St. Lucia clears. And Birmingham is there for Barbados. Gives it to a Captain Stevenson with a ball, so still Barbados with it, and Raquel John clearing it for St. Lucia, making no bones about it, and in the end it's a throw-in for Barbados. So it's going to be Newsome to take that throw-in. We are in the 12th minute of extra time, the first half, long through, and flag goes up against Barbados, so it's going to be a free kick for St. Lucia. Raquel Jean is there. Still, Fanous is back, and Barbados, small. Barbados comes across the face of the goal, and again the upright headed away there by St. Lucia, and the goalkeeper's friend has been very prominent tonight, and it's still with Barbados. Infringement called against St. Lucia.
Well,
it's going to be a free kick.
Oh, what a shot taken by Sutherland. She was denied by the crossbar. Oh, wow. That was an opportunity really well taken. And Barbados in the ascendancy in this first period of the extra time.
Yes, so a lot of pressure being placed on the defense for St. Lucia. It's headed away, still with Barbados inside that penalty area, but it's being cleared by St. Lucia, but not very far. Action still inside that half. St. Lucia looking to come away with it. Back heeled by Small, it looks like, and it was Thompson, and goalkeeper Francis collects. Now she boots it downfield, not a good boot. Polius intercepts. It's still, and it's Barbados with it. Barbados still coming over with it. Barbados to Birmingham to Cyrus. This goes wide to Thompson still with it. Thompson coming through, gives it to Stevenson. Back to Thompson. This is a good football here. This could spell danger. Barbados scores. It looks like Sutherland, she has been a thorn in the flesh of the defense in the last 10-15 minutes, and she has made it 2. It's Barbados 2, St. Lucia 1.
Well, excellent football by Barbados. The development of that play and into that final pass to Sutherland was really, really good. Stringing some really nice quality passes together. This time, the post was not there. It was low to the left of Francis. And here we go. There it is. Barbados have taken the ascendancy just like they did in regulation time.
Yes.
Let's see how the remaining 16 or so minutes of this extra time.
Well, Roxelle, it started with Thompson. She had a solo run through the center, walked away wrong, and eventually giving it to Sutherland, who was in perfect position and wasted no time. She really made use of that into the back of the net. So we still have some game still on. It's not over yet until it's over. So Thompson once again, the number 9, and she goes down the left flank, taking her own time, not in any hurry, and gives it to Cyrus. Fanous is still there, still working for St. Lucia, but the cross comes in and Rouse intercepts. So it's going to be Rouse. Rouse goes down the left. Rouse still looking, and there's cut out there by St. Lucia, and it's Barbados 2, St. Lucia 1.
Yes, well, we are getting very close to the end of the first period of extra time. There we go. We see the whistle. And Barbados are ahead 2-1. This is really exciting stuff here. Sutherland, she's had an excellent game here in the championship encounter, and well, it looks as if, from all estimations, this is the end of the game.
Well, maybe
but it should not be, because, well, the medical staff was actually moving as if it was the end of the game. So they probably have a different view, because we cannot have one period of extra time.
You cannot have that. You're just going to have one half.
Yes.
You have to complete the second half of extra time
exactly. So,
in order to make that decision.
Misled by the movement of the medical staff, as it seems as if they were of the opinion that it was all done and dusted, but we still have a second period to go. Barbados, as they did in the first half of regulation time, came out and have commanded play, so to speak, in this extra time first period. We will see what St. Lucia has to offer as a response in the second period.
Oh, most definitely. So we're going to have a short break before we come right back to bring it to you.
Yeah, well, so
So the players are coming back for the second half of this period of extra time. And so it's St. Lucia. They would be defending the goal to the south in this, the period of extra time. And Clark, the goalkeeper for Barbados, down at the northern end. So it's Marquis. Marquis goes wide to Alain. Alain looks to find Polius. Polius dances around one. She has two defenders. She's still with it. Comes back to Alain. Alain back to Marquis.
Right, let me relieve you a little bit there, Charlo. Just was doing some other work for the officials of the tournament. And you know, we do triple work here, just not speaking off the top of our heads, Charlo.
Well, certainly.
So, Barbados are ahead. Final period of extra time into the first of that 15 minutes. Booted downfield. Barbados trying to go forward, still with the goal scorer of the decisive goal so far, Sutherland. That is Stevenson looking to go forward to Thompson. Thompson is in a battle with Albert. Intertouch it goes. A goal kick for St. Lucia. And Albert is still down. She
took a tumble.
Yes.
Maybe winded a bit.
She's had a long, very strong game as well. She's been asked a lot. And John is waiting and commanding, trying to make sure that this kick is taken. But referee Barker is ensuring that all is well with Albert. And
she's back on her feet.
Here we go. So Francis finds Raquel John, and she goes into Fanu. Fanu brings it back to Savory. Savory finds John. John is going across to the left, finds Albert. Albert pumps that into Thompson, who's been excellent today.
Well, Thompson has really done yeoman service for Barbados tonight.
Yes, she's been all about the shop. And her pass for that decisive goal so far, you spoke very, very highly of it. And we have some more changes coming the way of St. Lucia. We will. So Albert is out. Yes.
It's Albert out.
Albert
Albert
is
is out.
And we will see with you.
Another player with a colorful boot.
Yes, but John comes in, finds Marquis, goes over to that player who just came in, number 12. And
that's Williams.
Williams, Chloe Williams. She has played before, but losing out to good ball into the Barbados moving forward here on the right hand side. To Stevens cut out now by Marquis though.
Is
Lomilla, she came in just shortly. Elaine trying to go forward here for St. Lucia on the left. Goes into the middle, finds Fanu. Good stopping, really good movement. And that is Marquis finding Elaine. Elaine still with it. Elaine on the left hand side, still Elaine. And she is pushed into touch.
I think she tried to do a little too much with it. She had two defenders to contend with.
And not many options.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the defenders was Thompson.
All right, here we go. It's now another throw-in for Barbados. Looks like Newsom, who is going to take charge of this. They're going to use as much time as they possibly can. And Thompson, again with it. And she wins another throw. A really solid performance this evening by the number 9 for Barbados. And she would be very pleased at the proceedings at this stage. Comes in now and once again through
for the 4th consecutive time.
Yes, another throw in for Barbados down there attacking right hand side, halfway into the half of St. Lucia. Again, another in advance of another throw as they creep their way down the right-hand side here. Not in any hurry at all, the Bajans, because they are ahead. And another throw coming their way this time. Again, let's see, Elaine puts it into touch, so we have advanced almost to the corner flag, Charlo.
That is for the 6th
consecutive tour coming here. Newsom for Barbados. She's been good. She gets it into Thompson, who throws really well. Cross comes in and too close to goalkeeper Francis. She picks it out of the air very smartly, and she decides to boot upfield. And slides off her foot. Chloe Williams is going to pick it up for St. Lucia as they attempt to advance. Still Chloe Williams this time. She has a tug onto her opposite number 12, and so an infringement against St. Lucia.
So it's going to be a free kick to Barbados, and we are already in the 6th minutes of the extra time. So time is of essence here for St. Lucia. if they are going to equalize, forcing the game into a penalty shootout.
Well, we see how far that possibility can come to the fray. John Doe heads up and very, very decisive header comes in there. She falls awkwardly and she's now trying to stretch those bones out. She's ready to go. Again, it looks like. But again, the very important thing here now, Charlo, the play continues to be dominated in the half of St. Lucia by the team who's leading the Barbados, and they're going to be in no hurry at all to take these.
Exactly, they're trying to preserve that lead, that one goal difference, as we see Rihanna Cyrus lining up that corner kick.
She brings it to Stevenson, short one taken into the area, stolen by Marquise. Marquise finds Polius. Polius for St. Lucia attempts to go forward, still Polius. She plays it back to John. John goes into the part of St. Louis. St. Louis attempted to turn, but the ball and the pace of the ball was a bit too much for her, taken though by Polius. Polius finds Elaine. Elaine goes up the left-hand side, still Elaine. Oh, good smart move, but just too close to the touchline and could not keep it in as she attempted to continue her advancement.
I thought that for one moment that it came off the boot of the Barbadian player, but it was not.
Not to be, but again, free kick coming away with Barbados, taken quickly. Samuel finds Marquise, it is. No, it's Savory into St. Louis. St. Louis in the area just outside the 18-yard box on the left-hand side, bundled off of it. A referee Barker says a fair play. Cyrus pumps downfield, looking for, this is the number 12, is it? We're going to get that right, but it falls now for John. John finds Elaine up the left-hand side. St. Lucia attempts to go forward. She cuts it back, goes inside, finds Fanu. Fanu is going forward, looking to find Chloe Williams, but taken by Barbados with Stevenson. Stevenson to Thompson. Thompson is looking. Thompson is moving. Thompson possesses. She holds it up well. She has space. She has time, and she decides to go forward for Sutherland. Sutherland cannot get past Raquel John. This one goes forward. St. Louis is touched to the ground there
by Newsom.
By Newsom,
who picks up a yellow card.
Well, it's one for the team, to be honest. It was a position that St. Louis could have turned and pushed forward from. I believe that was a smart infringement.
So she has been infringed. So free kick awarded to St. Lucia. Captain Raquel John, she's standing there with hands on hips. We are in the 9th minute of this extra time.
John goes and plays it short to Newsom, and Newsom back to John. John into the area, not well taken, not her best part of contribution over these last 4 days. She's been awesome in the defense.
Perhaps it's taken a toll on her at this particular juncture.
That one needed to be in the direction of the goal somewhere, somehow, as Barbados attempts to come out, but loses it to St. Louis, to Newsom, to Marcus.
I would have been advising my team that every opportunity you get, you're going at goal.
Good. So this is Williams finds Marquez just outside the 18-yard area. She goes across to the left, finds that is Elaine. Elaine finds Polius, back to Elaine, back to John, pushed back, and Elaine gets a return ball on the left-hand side. She looks for Polius. Polius deep on the right-hand side, and she is being adjudged to be offside.
Well, Roxelle, I thought that when Marquise and the others got the ball, rather than going too wide, you would have had a shot at goal. And we saw 2 or 3 opportunities where they could have taken a shot at goal, but choose to go wide to their player looking to split the defense I would have been attacking the goal.
Well, Charlo, you are saying that we need this for the St. Lucians in this case. They need to be a little bit more direct, given the time and the situations at which they stand.
Precisely, because we are into the 11th minute.
All right, so just 4 minutes, remaining in this extra period, second period of extra time, as Barbados attempts to preserve this lead. There's Thompson looking to go forward. She does a good weighted ball, and picking it up there, I believe, is low. She pushes it into the 6-yard area and commanded by Francis. Francis to Williams. They're going to have some urgency. Here, St. Lucia finds Marquis. Marquis looks across, finds Fanu. Fanu goes forward into the area, attempted to find St. Louis, falls now for Savory. Savory goes wide on the right-hand side to Williams. She cuts inside. She is looking for movement. She is still in possession. Bad ball cut out by Thompson, and Thompson leaves it to Stevenson. Stevenson to Cyrus. Cyrus, who opened the scoring so long ago in this encounter, takes the ball as far as she possibly can down the right-hand side. She goes to the corner flag. She's at the corner flag. She's trying to preserve some time at the corner flag, and she's holding and shielding and pushed to the ground now. And it is a free kick for Barbados. Job well done by Cyrus.
Definitely well done by Cyrus, biding and eating away at the minutes, after seconds, and in the end, getting the desired result.
Well, a substitution is coming the way of Barbados as they continue to attempt to eat away of the minutes. Who is, still not. Oh, it's Thompson. So Thompson is asking them to hold on. Just 2 more minutes. Hold on here for us. She's had a superb game. And it's against Barbados, because I believe she's been caught in an offside position, as Cyrus attempted to just keep it in that corner flag area. John pumps upfield, only as far as Cyrus, though, who advances, takes a shot, and Savory saves the day once again for St. Lucia against another goal. This looks like very much getting closer to the end, just 2 minutes. The ladies would be jaded, they'll be tired, they've had a very long tournament, and ending with a very, very long day here this evening, Charlo, in this championship matchup. Here we go. It's with Stevenson for Barbados, captain. She is trying to control, runs herself into touch, and again, you can see another throw-in comes the way of St. Lucia.
Well, one could realize the effects of this long game, that the pace, the speed of the players have been reduced considerably, because the conditions, the length of time has taken its toll, and really, I must say that it has been a hard-fought final.
Well, offside was just called against St. Louis, and the arms go begging why and how and where can that be possible, but the officials are in charge, and so just about seconds remaining on the clock. A pump downfield. Elaine can't reel it in. The Barbadians are in the tussle. Yes. And Raquel John is still there, though. And
well, from here, all indications, it appears as if Barbados have returned the favor. They were beaten in the first game in the preliminary rounds 2-1 by St. Lucia, and here they have a 2-1 advantage.
Yes, so they were lost in the opening encounter, 2-1 to St. Lucia. They are now leading 2-1 here in the championship game, and so it would basically pan out equals even Stevens, but the championship game is what makes all the difference. Here we go, of Elaine. Let's see. I see referee Barker is looking at his fourth official. Let's see if there is any indication of any additional time. It doesn't seem like that. and it's against Barbados, again deep in the St. Lucia half. Referee Barker looks at his watch, and Lane attempts to put boot off field. It goes out of touch. Barbados has control. They are in control of the game as it relates to the scoreline. They have had some really good dominant periods this evening, and so far the results seem to be pending. That's it. That is it. Barbados are the 2025 Wifa Women's Championship. The final whistle has been sounded. They came, they saw, they conquered, and they are the victorious team this evening in a long, demanding evening added to what has been a tremendous tournament, Charles.
Well, indeed, it was a long tournament. It was a good tournament. We saw good quality football. Tonight, the decisive moment in the final against St. Lucia, who defeated them in the first game of the preliminary round 2-1, and here in the final, returning the favor, beating the St. Lucians 2-1. Here at the Arnorsville Sporting Complex, they are dancing and they are celebrating, and rightly so. But St. Lucia, they fought hard. I think in the end, running out of a bit of gas, so to speak, because it was some tired legs, a full 90 minutes, locked at 1-1, the extra time. Barbados scored in the first minute of extra time, in the first period of extra time, and they were able to defend that in the second half of extra time, and so victory to Barbados. But congratulations to Barbados and to St. Lucia for a wonderful final here at Arnorsville.
Right, well, the presentation of awards and prizes will come shortly. Charlo, always a pleasure partnering with you to do these commentaries. And so I believe we will probably take it over to the medals podium, the presentation podium for the activities that are to come.
Well, certainly, and they will take it from there. And we are certainly going to have some outstanding performances, like the MVP of the tournament, MVP of the final, the most outstanding goalkeeper, and the list can go on. But that's for the officials. They would have worked their program. And so it was a pleasure once again sharing it with you. It had been a long night. And for our viewers, thanks for being with us. And we hope that you enjoyed our work here in this championship, the Windward Islands Women's Football Championship 2025, where Barbados victorious in the final, champions of 2025.